I want those cameras on executive client research. We got some charts and graphs, we got some groups and gaps, and it's executive client research.
Let's have our cameras turned on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Executive Client Research, episode 4. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is January 14th, 2024 at the time of recording. And I'm Will, as always, and we've got Atticus here as well. What's going on, Atticus?
I am doing well. I'm glad to join you. I am glad that our clients have 4 episodes under their belt. They should be 4 episodes smarter and more equipped for the business world that they are facing.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about the value that we've provided to our audience so far, and I just not to get too self-congratulatory here, but I kind of can't believe we're giving it away for free. To that end, we are launching a course. Just kidding. That seems to be the big time grift you get into these days, is like having a class, having a course.
It's so sad too. Like, have you seen like artists doing it to a pretty extreme? Like, you'll see like Wolfpack, or like you can pay $250 for like the bass course with Joe Dart, or like the mixing course with Jack Stratton, and you're like, these people are talented, good artists doing scams.
They presumably are like those. They already made it. Not that like
they're touring.
They're not Ariana Grande or something. And I don't know.
I don't know what their situation is. Maybe you got to do what you got to do, and I do feel sympathy for it, because I'm sure there's not good
ways
cool.
of making money as a musician.
Yeah, and they probably don't feel cool doing it themselves. But
my grimace is just more in like regret that it's come to this. There are definitely like I feel a lot less sympathetic towards a lot of the other types of things.
Yes, like the stock trading.
Yeah,
that doesn't come across as you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and this is kind of sad, but I used to work with somebody who was talking about like how I think I was mentioning like thinking about maybe going back to school, like getting a graduate degree and whatever, and I guess it does I wasn't gonna go back to school for some bullshit like an MBA or something. I was thinking about going back to school for graduate degree in philosophy, the realist ass degree that you could possibly get. And they were like, yeah, I was thinking about going back to school too. And come to find out, I guess they meant not that I explained that I was gonna do like philosophy or anything, but later I guess they were talking about like they saw like ads for one of these grifter courses.
Thinking about going back to school, getting my ass scammed.
Yeah, like that was school to them. And what I don't know. I'm very self-conscious about this. I don't want to be like sound like I'm gatekeeping or something like, oh, college is like the only way and things like that
To learn
like,
anything.
Yeah. I just think it's bad that people have been able to convince people that like, oh, this is real valuable knowledge, and you're gonna, I don't know, this is a way out, I guess.
Yeah,
for people.
The Trump University is a little bit too official for me. It's looking a little bit too regulated and legitimate.
I got into a bit of an ECR mindset myself this week. So been doing a ton of shoveling, so much shoveling because of all of the snow, as you might expect. And I've been going down the rabbit hole of looking at electric snowblower reviews on YouTube. and I'm very, I don't know.
I can't wait to learn about this community.
There's it's like these people who will. It seems to be the people that are like reviewing these. Which, for the record, I really want one, and I might spend way too much money to buy one because I hate shoveling a lot. But
And you want electric, you don't want a gas one these days, apparently.
well,
Or is it a cost association? Electric is cheaper typically.
it's not cheaper. In fact, to get the batteries, it's like the two batteries themselves seem to be like $800. And that's not even the cost of the snowblower itself. But the reason why, so like see, this is why it's ECR mindset, dude. Like I'm thinking about like, could I electrify my entire home maintenance setup, or I guess by that like a lawnmower too. If I can I
tell you,
I
someone
buy
who's
into an
bought-
ecosystem?
Okay. I've had an electric lawnmower.
Yeah,
Boo.
really.
But maybe what you do is you don't buy the absolute cheapest you can. Maybe that's what the answer is.
Nah, dude. I'm looking at the ego stuff, which I think is very expensive for this stuff. Wait, what was your problem with the with your electric mower?
Small yard, couldn't do it on one charge.
Oh shit.
Couldn't cut down thick grass. And so it would take like 6 or 7 charges to do a small yard if it got any amount of overgrown. And
Yeah,
it would
that's
take like
awful.
2 to 3 charges if you were really on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Dang. Yeah, that sounds really, really bad. Yeah, no, I would need. Yeah, I guess I need to do the math on like, would that would that electric mower be like?
I would
enough?
think not too, but maybe if you've got a couple batteries, maybe that's all you need.
Yeah, but the thing about the maintenance is something that I don't want to deal with. Like when you get like a gas like snowblower, you gotta like, clear out the lines or whatever. Also, like, I do have a snowblower now. It's like it's a gas snowblower that our dad gave to us because he got a new one, and it was just not cutting it. Like we got too much snow to handle. The snowblower just like wasn't working. But in trying to use it, like I'm just choking down the fumes, right? And I don't know. It's been days since I tried using it last, and I still like feel it in my lungs. I don't know, like all that stuff, which makes maybe me like. Is there something wrong with the snowblower if I'm still tasting the gasoline fumes? But
So a snowblower doesn't have blades like a lawnmower. What is the mechanism that kicks it up?
yeah,
Is it just
so
a hungry little hands that go like that?
yeah, basically. So the one that you and I are used to is the one that I have now is it's like a single stage snowblower where there's one like real thing that chops up the snow and feeds it into the tube and flings it out the chute. That's like one mechanism that does that. And then
There's so much snow that it can't turn enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
It's
now.
like it's too tall, or there's just too much of it, or it's too heavy. But the stage 2 snowblower is what I'm looking at. Is like an electric or stage 2, and that stage 2 refers to there's one dedicated mechanism that like chops up the snow, and then there's a second stage that actually propels it through that chute. And so I guess the fact that there are two separate, like I don't know, it can handle more on each one, I guess. And some of the benefits of the electric is just that, like, I don't know, electric motors are all torque, right? And so it can really chew through stuff. It's a lot quieter than a gas motor. It's not silent. But yeah, people are saying like, it can handle really big snow drifts and stuff like that. And I'm thinking like extreme weather events are not going to be decreasing in the future. I will be continuing to deal with probably more extreme snowstorms going forward, so that like a stage 1 snowblower ain't just gonna cut it these days.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I woke up saying that today.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot
Single
of us.
stage.
Who goes first today? Whose brief is presented?
You know, I thought we were jumped into your brief, but no.
No, this was not my brief. My brief
Okay.
was not about snowblowers. This was just some extra knowledge. That
Is this water cooler talk?
this is the water cooler talk. But enough of that. Call to order. I think I went first last week, so
Okay.
let's jump into your topics.
Well, I don't think it'll be a surprise to you that I would like to talk about the boot community. Leather boots, to be specific.
The boot licking community, as I understand it, right?
They
You're talking about cops this week.
I'm talking about what you put on your little feet.
Oh,
Boots.
actual boots, physical boots.
Actual
Okay.
boots. And I have been just enthralled by boot people online recently.
Do you know the boot dude?
Who's the boot dude?
All right, I'll look up boot dude. Oh, I found it. This is you. Continue on, and I will send this to you.
Okay. So, I feel like what I'm learning is most people just have bad taste. But I would jump in with the brand of boot that I've been mostly kind of been learning about or hearing about, Thursday boot, which I think is kind of most people, you're probably been advertised if you're our age or about that, or I think they have women's boots, but it seems like they advertise pretty heavily towards men of our age, I would say.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lifestyle vibes. It's like it seems to be like an actually pretty good brand, from what I understand. But like it's one of those, like, I don't know, Instagram ad.
Yeah, they're a direct to consumer, which I think kind of can say not say a lot, but kind of is, because they end up doing a lot of advertising, where perhaps.
Did you get the photo?
Where would it be sent?
I sent it to you in our regular chat.
My apologies. Let me see.
It's up on screen for our viewers right now.
If I can confirm or deny, if I'm boot.
This is who you are, I believe.
No.
You're not boot dude?
I aspire to be boot dude, but I'm not quite there.
Look at that grin.
Oh my god. Okay, I feel like this brings me to the first thing about these people. They have bad taste in boots.
Online boot people.
Yes, I believe. And maybe I have bad taste because I don't fit in with everyone. But I feel like the things I'll see is just bad boots. I'll see that and everyone going, those are good. And then I'll see, I think one of the funniest things is so Thursday boots. I have a pair of Thursday boots, full disclosure. Interested in a sponsorship if that were to come our way. I would sing the praises of my Thursday boot, but I won't because
they haven't.
Right. And
This is
I think it's a lesson for
it's
the
kind of like an
listeners.
object lesson, for listeners. Yeah.
I won't lick until paid. But I will lick for cheap.
Boot dude will lick.
One funny thing I think about these people is, or at least the subreddit, is that for some reason the algorithm, it must be some sort of like the downside of like this, because Reddit, if Reddit knew how to, if they could make a change in their algorithm that would serve r/Thursday boot in the service of selling boots, they would make that change, right? They want to be brand friendly. If they could like do one thing to their algorithm that suddenly serves the brand that your subreddit is talking about to sell more, they would do that, right?
I think so, right? Like as all internet companies want to do, or is just like, I don't know, be advertiser, like
Yeah,
get advertiser
advertiser friendly.
money, or like if you could turn Reddit into a shopping platform, I'm sure they would go that way.
Yes. I think if there was a lever they could pull in their algorithm to service positive conversation about a product, they would. But for some reason, their algorithm seems to really, really push. Like, I'll open the app any time or day and get someone complaining about their Thursday boots.
Nice.
But if you look at the subreddit, most of it is just check out my new boots. For some reason, the algorithm pushes to my front page, however, people complaining about their boots. And that's started kind of a flame war between people complaining about the boots and people defending the boots. And I will say, most of the complaining about the boots is like so funny and so silly. Like, there's a crease in my boot where my toe hits, or what, you know.
Yes, you sent me that one, and if I remember correctly, it's like exactly where you'd think
Yes.
a crease would be.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're expecting.
And I was thinking about this. I was watching my feet the other day. You know, like, you don't watch your feet as it's behind you, right? You don't see your foot bend, really. You just see your
I suppose
stupid
not, yeah.
foot flop down over and over again.
Mhm.
And I think it's just as much of the internet's problems with understanding things. It's object permanence. And
they
I
don't know that
promise-
how their foot is moving while
Do you
it's
not
out of
feel
sight.
it bend?
Yeah.
You know? But I found someone I think that has taken this perhaps too far, I think. Because there's a lot of complaining about normal things with the boots, like they crease, or there's a little nick in them because I kicked my feet or something, you know.
Yeah.
So
Hey, I wore this. I wore my boots, and it looks like I wore my boots. What
is
the
this
heck?
normal?
Yeah.
Lots of is this normal?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be normal. Okay. User underscore prisoner 24601 underscore. Yes, leather creases. There's a whole post. This is a self post. This isn't a comment. This is all self post. Yes, leather is pliable. It creases. Period. Yes, you may get a pair someone tried on in their living room and decided it wasn't for them. Same thing if you go to any shoe store. You've bought shoes before, I'm sure. You'd get these minor creases on your first wear. Just focus on how they feel on your feet. If they fit good, just wear them. We go on and on about that type of like condescending. You've worn boot before.
I am in
strangers-
agreement with prisoner. I gotta
Yes.
say.
Strangers on the internet can't tell you if a boot fits. Use your head. How do they feel in your feet? Again, you've probably bought shoes on your own before without the help of internet strangers. You can do it. I believe in you. Search the sub before posting and exercise a little common sense before asking the same question that gets posted every single day. And if you're not happy with a purchase in life, just return it. You don't need to inform Reddit, and you can make that decision on your own. If you have an issue that you feel compelled to post here, it means you're not happy, so just return them. Feel free to add your own hot takes for the rookies that fill the sub every day. Upvote if you want this pinned. Now, I'm fascinated with the idea of a boot rookie. Someone comments, Peter MEJ comments, this is good. Can mods pin this post? Prisoner responds, my money is on them deleting it, actually. They don't seem too concerned with the QC of this sub, unfortunately. Anytime I employ a little tough love on a rookie post, I get a finger wag.
I love this dude. I love
Yes.
I love this guy. The central something that maybe people don't realize is that this guy is annoying and you would not want to have a conversation with, but absolutely vital to the
Keeping the trash down.
yeah, to the life of an internet community. For on these forums, like, you need to have pedants who are freaking out about like
The quality
reading,
of a subs
read the wiki or like read the
manual.
read the pinned comments or like read the sub rules. Like
Have you ever
search before you ask. Like it's annoying. It's definitely something to like the amount of energy that it will take to like write out a post freaking out at rookie posters, I guess, like asking dumb questions is it's so much more energy than I could possibly imagining.
Oh
So
my
like
God.
ever doing something like that. But like I have seen this happen in so many I've seen this happen in so many like camera or filmmaking communities that absolutely go to shit because people we get rookie posters in the mix.
You got to give them tough wag, and then you get a finger wag, and it's just the worst. Do you ever see the acronym RTFM?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if that was because I was gonna say
that's
it's
an
funny.
old school.
Gotcha. So it's interesting seeing like it applied to a consumer, just shoes. You know, like I'm used to seeing it in like audio engineering spaces where someone is like, you know, you should Google how to, you know, if someone asks like, how do I like close Ableton? Everyone's like, you should, you know, you're wasting my time. And it's like, I don't know if I'm wasting your time.
You
but,
don't need to be reading this. Yeah.
But there's a lot, you know, read the fucking manual. These are basic things that you should just Google, whatever. To apply that to just like
shoes
is very funny. But it's also very funny that people are like, what do I do if the shoes don't fit? Don't keep wearing them.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I also, this is interesting because I also do like kind of, I would never post it, but like, you know, you're getting into something and you're like not sure how it works. Like you don't know what you don't know, right? And apologies to Dr. Skeleton listeners, because I'm gonna repeat this. This is the second time I'm gonna repeat a story, but like I'll make it shorter. It was like going back and forth with my insurance agent about what day, like how a day starts and ends. Like I want to insure the wedding venue on one day, and he's like, all right, like you're good. You're gonna be insured on that day all the way up through 12 a.m. on that day. And I'm like, that's the beginning of the day. I need it to be starting at 12 a.m.
oh my
and
God,
going.
you and I are so similar and so annoying to people about this, that I feel like I've got like where it's overthinking, but it's also just so much easier if everyone saw it our way and it was, can I get 11:59 p.m.?
I'm gonna need it.
You know?
Yeah, and it was just going back and forth where like it's just, yeah, we're going back and forth. I don't know what the disconnect was, but you know, he insured it for the day before, and I needed it the day of, but he was not seeing that he insured it for the day before, and I guess the thing that was going on in my brain was like, listen, I don't know much about insurance.
I do know the days though.
I do know days, but like, could there be something about insurance that the day before is like shows up in the system the day after? I don't know. Like, is there something about dates in the State Farm in system that like mathematically, I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. But like, is there something I'm missing about insurance? Because the insurance agent is saying that I'm covered for that day, and I'm like, based on my understanding of how time and date works, that's not the case. But maybe there's another way of telling time that insurance companies use. I don't know. But like that sort of like holding space for the fact that like, could it be done completely differently, or is there like these shoes hurt really bad, but am I not getting something about
I've heard something about
boots? Wait, someone broke in?
No, you're supposed to break in your boots.
You're supposed to break in your boots. Oh, what are you Oh, or he's probably getting his boots. I thought he's like someone broke in and he was currently dealing with like a home invasion situation.
No, sorry. Marlo had got himself stuck in between the blinds, so he was. Gonna
Oh,
bring the house down.
Jesus.
No, you're supposed to break in boots. Like,
Yeah.
So, are these just uncomfortable for this week, or
Yeah, I think that's a fair question because like, hey, how uncomfortable is this supposed to be? Like, my feet are cut and bleeding, and I'm like,
No.
I'm bleeding out on the pavement. Like, is this normal? Like, that's probably not normal. There's some amount of discomfort that you might encounter at first, though.
And people are so uncomfortable with like gray area where it's like the boots shouldn't kill you, but they might not, feel the best day one if you went for a hike.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely, but it is kind of funny that there's these people that are the engine of the internet, keeping is it raffle? That's not the right word. The raft down, I suppose. The peasants, the new people, they need to feel a little bit bad all the time.
Yes. Have you ever posted like on a forum like this? Like people ask like I can't get my I feel like hardware forums gear sluts or something, right? Like that's a real forum. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. But like I remember like seeing this with like headphones and stuff like that. Like they're always it blew my mind.
I've actually posted a couple times for help on stuff like with Ableton or something. Like, how is there anyone how do I do this specific thing?
Yeah.
And so I've had a handful of experiences doing that, and mostly one or two people will respond, and half the time it's helpful.
Nice. Yeah. But like the only reason that Google worked for a while for stuff, now it doesn't, but only worked for a while, was that there like you run into like a specific problem. You're like, there's kind of this weird like fringe thing where I don't know, Logic's interacting weirdly with my MIDI controller and this interface. So like this combination of hardware things and like this maybe the newest update to the operating system and just like just like weird things that like aren't obvious. And that
it is weird that we're back on our own in 2024, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and you would Google it, and there's like some hero out there who has posted 72 pages deep into a forum thread on Gear Sluts, who's talking about just like, hey, for anyone who comes across this in the future, like this is like I know this is like an 11-year-old thread, but like this is the solution. Like I thought you have to like install this driver or like it's usually like uninstall this other weird driver that is incompatible with current things. Like amazing for that person to do that. I would never do that. I would never ever do that.
If I figured something out, share that.
It would not even because I'm selfish. It would just not occur to me.
Yeah.
I would just
I'm gonna
like,
move
oh,
on
that's it. And I'm
with doing the thing now.
Right, exactly. Now of course, yeah, we are just on our own, like you said.
But I guess there are some heroes still out there shaming people for asking basic questions. A couple other posts that I think were funny. Post about, I think I shared this with you, but someone talking about the company itself, Thursday Boots, is active in the subreddit, so you'll see them posting.
That is such a dangerous move for a company.
Yeah.
I've seen that go wrong before.
And they have to post all the time about like explaining how quality assurance works, where it's like, if you post, you're only going to post if things go wrong. And like, like you're seeing the sample size, you're seeing people only post when there's a problem and such and whatever.
Yeah.
Someone posted a picture of their boots and said they're wearing them every day or something. And Thursday Boots responds, nice recommendation. Give them a day off between wears and they will last much longer. Which I think is kind of funny, where it's like, drive your car every other day and it'll last twice as
right.
long.
It's kind of ostensibly, I guess the reason is that like uh 2 days of consecutive wear out the boot faster than like
Sure.
letting it rest between. I don't know, but then you could somehow like sequence them together. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
if you wore a boot 7 days in a row versus, and they compared it to if you wore that same boot every other day for 2
14
weeks.
Yeah.
Like the boot that you wore 7 days in a row is going to be in worse shape.
Yeah.
I
And
get this the point, but like that was the first thing that came to my mind too. That like,
wear it less.
yeah, simply
Get a second phone.
drive fewer miles.
Yeah. No, I think part of it is that supposedly like you're supposed to let the sweat totally the moisture leave your boot before you wear them again, because and overnight isn't long enough supposedly. But I don't know if the Cowboys were lugging around the boots.
Yeah.
But the original poster responds, "I've already done that, but they are just darn comfortable." I find that very
What do you mean
charming.
you've already done that?
I've already done that. I recommend brushing your teeth every day. Already done it.
Tried it.
Tried it. Didn't work for me. You gotta do it every day, going continuously.
Yeah.
Forward. I think you'll find in the boot community similarities between like guitar culture and stuff, where there's lots of I have a problem posts, or what we're all used to seeing is my wife says I need to get this under control. And
We're talking about gas here.
Yes, we had a very serious. Me and my partner had a very serious conversation, and the conclusion was that I seriously have a problem. So I am posting on Reddit validation.
I am posting on Reddit how it's a funny little thing
Yeah,
that happened.
my wife says I need to communicate more and stop being a jerk. Here's my boots.
Mhm.
You
Wait,
could
so
say-
so there's people have boot acquisition syndrome?
yes, people have like fucking racks of them. They have like
I don't know why I'm surprised by that.
right.
Am I such a baby? This is my first day on the internet. Of course, people have boot acquisition syndrome.
You could say I'm surprised to hear you defend more the headphone acquisition syndrome than a boot acquisition syndrome. But you could say I have a thing for cap toe boots. This is what this person says. And they post of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of boots. Current boot lineup, and I'm gonna be so professional.
Nice. Current
boot.
boot lineup. Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. So, my confidence that I wouldn't need to share any images, but
That's such a hallmark of
internet.
the kind of people that we talk about on this podcast is like having like a little like term, like this is my boot loadout, it's like here's like my cutesy little the lingo that they have for it.
Like
the lineup.
my family.
Yeah.
A new member of the family, I think, is a common.
Stop. Stop that.
Here's a really good one. It was
Does
someone
Boot Dude talk
asking-
like that? Look at Boot Dude.
I don't think
I've-
he talks like that. He does have a family, but he doesn't call it a family.
Yeah.
No, Boot Dude's family is his wife and children. You
Yeah.
know? He's a normal ass guy.
That's right.
This person's asking like for boot recommendations. He says he wants to get zipper boots, because he can dress them up, or because he says I would, for everyday wear and tear. How does the gloss hold up? Will I need to be reshining them often? I would be in a medical setting where I occasionally do patient care in whatever business casual clothes I'm wearing. Someone comments, I highly recommend getting natural Captains as your first pair. They can be dressed up or down, aren't too shiny or too dull, and look great with most clothings. That's a totally valid opinion. That's a normal, nice suggestion, right? Like, hey, these are me versatile. These are nice boots.
I am
Those might be
picturing
good
Boot
ones.
Dude performing open heart surgery now.
And boots. Yeah, it is very funny to be wearing leather boots in a hospital.
Yeah, I don't.
It's in
For
a-
some reason, I'm
but-
like, I'm not into that. I
No.
kind of need the people
really
who,
dorky Reeboks.
yeah, like I don't want any percentage of your brain space to be thinking about like
Street.
how good do I look right now. Like I need
Yeah.
you to be focused
Scrubs
on.
are there for a purpose. It's to bring you down into all about me. It's all about my care. I don't want you to
Yeah.
look like a fucking marshmallow or something, you know?
And just you're okay.
Are these too
The doctor
shiny?
comes out of the operating room. Your wife has just been in a horrible car accident, and you're like,
They
"Tell me
check
the
the
news,
mirror
doc."
first.
He exits the operating room like a cowboy entering a saloon, just like pow, and then he's got like the big ass like,
Spurs.
yeah, spurs going on. Like he's like, "I don't know, man." Just
But okay, to be fair, this is what the person asked. I don't know what his job is. Maybe he's like an admin person who just has
who
to come in and
occasionally
explain,
needs to do. Oh
or
wait, what did
has
he
to
say?
occasionally has to explain why the hospital is going to be billing them for $2 million or something. I don't know what his job is. He
But
said
what was it? What was in his comment? He's like he needs to do occasional medical work or something.
I would in a medical setting where I occasionally do patient care in whatever
Patient
business
care.
casual clothing I'm wearing. I don't know what kind of job requires very occasional client care, but I'm not. I don't work in a hospital. You know,
Huh?
maybe
Doesn't
they pull
sound like
everyone.
it's mostly patient care. So I don't know, like I'm grabbing a water bottle for somebody in the waiting room. I don't know. Okay,
Sure.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend getting natural captains as your first pair. They can be dressed up or down, aren't too shiny or too dull, and look great with most clothings. Enter our friend who's going to save the fucking world. Dress, in quotes, dress up or down is a myth for most boots. They are too casual to dress up. Telling someone to dress up captains will lead them to think wear it in a semi-formal setting, ... which will lead to disastrous results. I'm trying to think of what disastrous results someone wearing what you think are too casual of shoes in a semi-formal situation.
Is this a safe space to share that I plan to be getting married this weekend in
To
a
disastrous results.
in
I'm
in
just there to watch the disaster roll through.
I guess
when
you will
you're up
you,
there thinking things are fine, thinking you look good,
but I will
when
be in a
real-
pair of captains this weekend. I'm gonna be rocking the toe caps, and I get that it's gonna be a playful mismatch of styles, I suppose, if you're really looking out for that. But I hope it's not disastrous. Gosh, I hope this guy isn't right.
I think he's as far wrong as someone could be, unless we're talking like someone's gonna be. I feel like there's just some people who are just so locked in, just so fossilized in a time period that they've never ever experienced. You know, where like there's rules that only like you have to like. It's like Gandalf when he's researching the ring. That's where he might find the rule about how you're not supposed to wear specific shoes. You know, like what are you talking about?
Is
You're
this
not in a functioning society.
Yeah. Is this kind of where I think this gets invoked too often and maybe too bad? Maybe not totally intellectually, honestly, but the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you start out not knowing anything about something and you
And then
know
you read
that
a
you don't
forum
know
post
anything.
about a rule that someone else has for themselves. And you're
Yeah.
like, that's God's rule.
Yeah. And then you learn a little bit more about it, and then it does not scale linearly with your perceived knowledge of the subject, where now you've learned some of what's out there. Now you think you're a total expert. And then as you approach actual expertise, that's when your perception dips down back to like, oh, it turns out like rules are not really like these rules I had maybe about male fashion or whatever, this sort of thing, like they're not such set in stone or immutable things as I once thought.
Yeah, I feel like it may like some of that thinking may help someone who's just wearing sweatpants and and a sweater all the time. Like I feel so lost. I don't know what. Excuse me. Sorry. I feel so lost. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to put clothes on. That it's like okay, well,
Here's some good like general
Read our
guidance.
wiki post. Read the pinned post that says, get some of these. Don't wear brown shoes with black pants and vice versa unless it looks good.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, here's some like just things that like if you're with total beginner, just like find stuff that fits right, that fits you right, and go from there. And that's gonna do the biggest difference. And then eventually you can start being like, oh, actually, I prefer the look of like oversized clothing or something like that. And you're like purposefully making things baggier in certain places or something like that, or slimmer in others, and it's like a designed effect that you have because you know more about it, or like you're going for a particular effect you like it's the way it looks in a particular way. And like, yeah, I don't know, like I like the look of like tan and black together these days. I'm doing that quite a bit. But like, yeah, if you're just going for some basics, like here's how to get started. You can some sort of foolproof ways of putting together an outfit or whatever it is off the bat. Yeah, I think that's. But then just adhering, you turn into a like a primitive computer where you're just like rejecting input because it does not.
It's so funny where it's like it's dress up or dress down is a myth. Everyone else believes in this myth. Then it's real. Fashion is not everyone else in the world believes this myth. It's a misconception though, that
yeah, I have bad news about how society works, dude.
Right. I feel like it just comes across like the same people who are like, and I have these impulses too, where they're like, that's not what begging the question means. And it's like, well, that's someone said begging the question to mean raising the question, and everyone knew what they meant, and basically everyone uses that way. So I think that kind of might be what it means now. So shut the fuck up.
This is a personal attack. I agree with you, but this is a personal attack.
Are you pretty set in what begging the question means?
That specifically has like we need to do a whole episode on like pet peeves, like the whole concept of like if you're like, this is just my little pet peeve, you need to stop doing that. Like that you're probably not a good person.
Yeah.
But I do sometimes just like kind of sit and lament the loss of begging the question, because it's a useful phrase in its original form, but no longer does it exist in that way. You can't just say that, like, that begs the question in like a conversation and it means what it originally meant.
Sure. Well, okay, how about on accident? It's on purpose.
Oh, instead of by accident?
Yeah. And who cares?
Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah, no, yeah,
says
it's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where there's no lack of clarity. It's just it's just like a thinking of like when you were born, that
was
that stage of
an
English.
accident. Oh.
Yes. When you were born, there was like how everyone was talking right then. That's how it's going to be, and that's how it should be. And language evolved to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And then
at that point, everyone was saying goo goo gaga and stuff to me.
Yeah. And yeah, all the food was soft. Food's gotten harder.
It used to be softer.
Well, I feel like we may have milked the boot. If you want to present your brief now.
Well, now now I'm thinking about this clash between the descriptivists and prescriptivists, and I think I would like, this is a good chance for it raises the question of where I stand on it, and I want to share my philosophy on it, and that is that it's a ongoing, like, yeah, everything you said I totally agree with, that like language changes over time, and phrases come to mean new things, words come to mean new things, new words are added, things like that. I think language evolves, like, but there's something that it's always reacting against, which is just like the established canon of the language, and like if it was really just like there are no rules, then I don't think there would be any meaning to begin with at all. Like I do think that there is a constant interaction of like, new word comes in and kind of like doesn't like fit, but eventually it wiggles its way in, and then like the rules kind of like expand to include it, things like that. But there needs to be exactly like this forum guy. There needs to be the gatekeeping prescriptivists to say we will never accept Riz in the dictionary. Like that is not a word. We need people to be saying that for language to eventually expand to accept it, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Sure.
well, it's
I mean,
a
who's
war.
walking
We
who?
need the war.
Who's walking who though? Are we? You know what I'm saying? Are we using language, or are we serving language?
Or is language? It's giving language.
Sure.
Are you serving language? Okay, well, time for me to talk about my shit. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to look at this post that I did send to you earlier this week. Today, my friends, we're talking about LinkedIn Americans. And I saw that phrase on Twitter to describe people who be on LinkedIn. I think it's not exclusive to Americans. This person says, I start every year with a brand new MacBook Pro, fresh start, brand new install, nothing transferred from the last one. If it makes me even 1% more efficient, it pays for itself in the first week.
Too bad it doesn't, though. It makes
That
me 30
cannot.
times less efficient.
What are you doing?
Can't check my email.
Just the fact that, there's no way that's crazy to me. I don't even want to like fact check this. This is just a disgusting mindset to have. Like
I saw a news article the other day that said LinkedIn isn't for business anymore. There's now a dating component to LinkedIn.
Oh my
I feel
god.
like this guy is doing that.
Ooh, I like the way you think about this. And I agree insofar that he's not productivity post. He's not. If we continue on this like linguistic analysis trend of this episode, we look at the surface here and we're seeing like this isn't about a new MacBook Pro. This isn't actually about being more efficient. He's gooning. This is what he's being a pervert. There's some sort of a perverse pleasure he's getting from sharing this sort of thing. I'm saying that, half facetiously, but like it's not about this 1% efficiency. You're doing something weird. You're being weird online.
What are you loading your computer up with that you need,
What are you doing? Well, like
can we zoom in, cuz I think we got Steam on the dock there. We got Steam. We got Steam on our dock. There's no 1% efficiency we're worried about. What else we got?
Discord.
We got Discord on here. Oh my god. You're telling me
my guy's using the Apple News app.
And you're telling me there's a percentage of efficiency gained by reinstalling all of this shit every year?
And he's using Chrome, which I feel like you can find 1% efficiency gains by switching to a different browser.
I'm not going to do them. I'm not going to find that, though.
I'm not, like, I'll be honest here, gang, I'm not maxing out on my efficiencies. Like, I'm not chasing 1% gains. I'm kind of hanging out in the zone where I'm chasing those 20% bumps. I suppose that makes sense. I'm not at 99 right now.
You see anything else on there?
I believe he's got the. This is a preview for a future episode. I think he's got. I have to Google this. Yes, I think he's got the Serato DJ software installed
Oh my
open.
God.
And this guy, so
my
let's look. What does he do? Oh, here it says, former CEO of AppSumo grew from $3 million to $80 million a year. I help CEOs, pluralized incorrectly, go from 7 to 9 figures by working less. Join waiting list with a bit.ly.
I feel like having Steam on your dock is so funny when you're like efficiency. What is he like? Aren't these people supposed to be grinding literally 24/7? From what they like I wake up at 3 a.m. to squeeze more grind time in.
Yeah. Hey, brother, if you're looking to gain a 1% efficiency, I would say quit gaming, dude.
Quit gaming. There's no purpose to that. There's no CEO mindset gains from gaming.
Yeah.
Or DJing. I'm sure there's some successful DJs, but there's no $1 billion DJs.
Yeah, like Skrillex is like, I get a new MacBook every year, and it makes every 6 months my shit gets 1% better.
I bet Skrillex would lose 100% efficiency getting a new computer. Because I can tell you, getting a new computer when you do
Ruins
anything
my life.
real is so inconvenient. Like, if you're doing anything other than just like typing in a Word document, you dread.
Yeah, you're just
moving your
using.
stuff
You're
over.
just. Yeah, this guy's just using Chrome. Really, like honestly, like for a work or whatever. Like that's like that's all it is. You just need. You don't need a MacBook Pro for that, dude.
And you don't need a new MacBook Pro.
Yeah. I've got some other LinkedIn posts, or other like LinkedIn brain posts here, and we're actually going to be on LinkedIn for this one. Reese Yates says, "Rant. I'm sorry, but I have no time for people striking. If your job doesn't pay you enough, get another one. If you do not like the working conditions, work somewhere else. And I also have no time for people commenting justifying why they should strike. My mom is a mobile hairdresser, and she has done this all of her life. Because bills were becoming more expensive, she couldn't strike. She got another job as a carer on a Sunday to top her wages up. She is 66 in March."
What does that have to do with anything? I'm not striking because I know someone who has a good job.
The like, oh, it's a privilege to strike move is the one of the lowest IQ maneuvers you can make, I would say.
Boot Dude would not approve.
Yeah,
Such
what
a
would
move.
Boot Dude think about you, dude?
Boot Dude strikes when necessary.
Yeah. I went on strike last year. I would say thinking about people going on LinkedIn. Do you have a LinkedIn?
Yes.
Do you ever use it?
No.
Yeah. It's such
not,
a
It's 2 jobs old at this point.
nice. It's a such a bad place. It's such a really, really bad place. It makes me feel so bad in a very specific way every time I get on. Every time I get on there, it's really awful. It's what I imagine, like, I don't know, business school is these days or something. I don't know. It's all this posturing and everything like that. Like as bad as like Twitter is and other like social medias and things like that. Like I really think LinkedIn is the worst social media. Like I think it's the worst for your brain than anything else on the computer. It's really awful. And there's a certain kind of writing style that goes on here. And I'm going to read another one here. It involves so many so many line breaks. Is in fact, I'm going to share my screen so you can see just like the form here. Oh geez, what is this called? Okay. Alrighty. I interviewed a candidate through Skype last week. During the call, I heard her kids crying in the background. His wife was also talking. The experience was too noisy. The room he sat was clumsy. The room he sat was clumsy? What do you mean by that? Sat in? Is that what you mean? I was a bit disappointed. I expected a more professional approach from him. Somehow, he felt my disappointment while answering my questions and became unsettled. He stuttered several times. After the interview, I told him I wasn't impressed with how he presented himself. He burst into tears. Quote, "I am sorry, sir. I live in a room with my family. There's nowhere they could have stayed. We used to live in a bigger apartment before I lost my job 3 years ago. This is all I can afford now. I have failed my family. I know I have," end quote, he said in tears. I felt bad. I had no idea that he was going through a tough time. I just assumed he was fucking around and wanted to do a job interview with his family on the call with him. I don't know, like what you should understand that's what what's going on. Okay, I had no idea that he was going through a tough time. I apologized and encouraged him not to feel heartbroken. After all, he's trying his best. Besides, he did well in the interview. I gave him the contract and asked if he'd like to start next month. He couldn't believe it because I thought I was going to dismiss him. He shouted out for joy, "Hey baby, I got the job." I saw his wife come to hug him. I was moved. I learned to never judge anyone. Life isn't balanced. Let's try to make someone smile. # be human.
Oh my god.
Now this guy who wrote this needs to get hit by a train.
He does.
I think first of all, this probably just didn't happen.
No.
Right? Like this is a fake story.
I was going to dismiss him.
Yeah.
The type of a guy who considers dismissing people. Yeah, I dismissed him.
Mm-hmm. I love when people like get on LinkedIn and then just start talking about like I discriminated against a protected class today, and here's why, or something like that. We're like,
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to just see if they're good at their job, and like that's what you're supposed to hire them on? Like, because he just says right here he did well in the interview. It's like, that's all you need to get out of this, right? All of this rest of this stuff is just like you're just admitting that you're bad at your job and like you're a dickhead.
Right.
Oh great. And it looks like he does social media marketing, mobile app, and e-commerce. Yeah, I'm doing this like really I had this really profound experience and I'm talking about all this fake humility for my fucking social media marketing job. No offense to anybody who's paying the bills, social media marketing. I know it's like stuff out there. Gotta do what you gotta do. And I guess that's kind of like a good whatever. I have a fake job. That's fine. A fake email job. But there are so many fake email jobs, and the idea that like you should have some like shame in knowing that you have a fake email job. You can still do it. That's fine. Pay the bills, doing it. But don't pretend that it's like a real job. And I found this tweet and I thought it was funny. My friend teaches kindergarten, and some kid said his dream job was B2B software as a service.
No.
You should get CPS called on you if your kid is saying they want to do software as a service sales.
God. And they're saying BTB. Like, my God.
The only B2B you got to be doing as a baby is freaking baby to baby.
How about some bed and breakfast?
Bed and breakfast.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've got another one I want to read. This is there's you can really find a lot of great stuff on LinkedIn. And executive client research viewers, take note. This is we're getting into the real shit here. What we have here, just the formulation of of this LinkedIn post, I am having trouble understanding.
Okay.
It seems to be a post by this guy Tim Denning, who has a little
screenshotted him as his own post.
Screenshotted another post of himself on LinkedIn, or did he create this graphic to make it look like he posted on LinkedIn?
I think he's probably worried that someone's just going to steal the tips without taking it. Someone would just take his picture. He wanted to make a graphic, and he was worried that someone would. No, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on.
So, yeah, he says, the real high performers do subtle things most can't see. Line break. If I had to sum it up in 2 words, it'd be less ego. And then he, of course, links his newsletter, adds some hashtags, and then the graphic that is attached here is 14 signs of a high-performing employee. Unclear why he needed to add his own caption and say that if I had to sum it up in 2 words, then why don't you do that in writing out these 14 signs? I'm also you always got to wonder why pick number 14? Do we have to think? Is there other signals going on here? Worrisome. But here are the 14 signs of a high-performing employee, Atticus, that you need to be aware of. Number 1, they cheat on their job with a side hustle. Number 2, they treat everybody equal, including the cleaner.
I think blows their mind. They're like, one time I saw my boss not spit on the custodian, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Did you? I just remembered this this one post I saw that I didn't pull, but kind of in this vein, there's somebody talking about how they their interview process is that they take candidates out to lunch, and
oh my god, they get the order wrong or something.
Yes. They.
Oh my god, I hate that.
They talk to the server ahead of time and say, whatever they order, I need you to bring something different, and tell them.
Bring out selfish. Bring out something that might kill them.
Yeah. and then they watch their reaction to see if they'll how they deal with an unexpected challenge kind of thing in the moment.
And it's so funny because I'm sure some of them want them to really dress the person down.
Yeah, what is the right answer there? And they can just they can smartly be there is no right answer. It's just a it's the hoops that people Okay, I'm building towards a big point at the end of this that I won't get into yet. Okay. Number 3, they rebel against micromanagement. Number 4, they help others advance in their career. Number 5, they don't respond to 99% of emails.
Man, I am a pretty high performing employee.
I'm doing all right. Number 6, they stay away from gossip and corporate politics. Number 7, they're fine to be the dumbest person in the room.
They're dumb.
8, they create passive income in case they get fired.
They're worried about being fired.
9, they try entrepreneurship at least once, which I feel like 1, 8, and 9 are all the same thing so far.
It also is really funny that it's they're constantly grinding. They're always being an entrepreneur. They actually try it just once. Okay.
They ruthlessly protect their time. They focus on outcomes, not KPIs. And here on Executive Client Research, we're all about KPIs.
Yeah, we don't. I feel like this is a lot. Could Tim just send an email to his boss about what he doesn't like?
Yeah. Are you?
It's like,
I feel like
it's a
you're
memo to
subtweeting here.
bosses.
Yeah. They're wildly open to new ideas. They learn without being told, and they're humble. Yeah. I don't know. This guy also needs to be hit by a
Wildly
train.
open to something.
Yeah. To say, yeah, that was nothing. Wildly open. What is that supposed to mean?
It's frightening.
So do you know about the dead internet theory?
Yes.
Okay. It seems to be like, I can't tell. Is this an actual conspiracy theory? I don't know what the, it seems to be just that most of the stuff we see now is just bots or AI, not other human beings online. I don't know if there are other like more sinister implications of it that like, oh, we're all being gang stalked. Is that like actually what that means? But one of the things that I like seeing these like LinkedIn people brings up to me is that maybe this is a variation on dead internet theory, or I'm not sure what it is, but like it's like almost like a reverse Turing test where we've got like real humans ostensibly making posts, but they just sound like bots. And it's like human beings imitating artificial intelligence, or it's really low quality shit. It's not the fact that like we're worried that like AI is going to get good enough to replace human output. It's just that human output is just really
Yeah.
bad and really much worse over time. And to that end, the last thing I'm going to share here today with the class here is this here.
A man named James, in his early 30s, sits at his desk typing on his computer. He is wearing a suit and tie. He looks up from his computer and smiles.
We don't need to play any more of this. We just need to describe the form of what's going on here. It appears to be it's a YouTube video that's AI generated. It's called "I Made My First $1 Million in 2 years Starting from Scratch. How You Can Too." And it's an AI voice. We've got an AI face talking here. And it's just gonna be reading. It's just gonna do the same thing that I just did. Whereas I just like read out a line break LinkedIn post, right? Where it's like all this stuff, and it goes on for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, way too long. And it's just this guy telling you a story.
And real estate and stocks just appeared on screen.
Yeah. There's no difference between this and then what I just read. There's no difference. It's the same thing. This is just content garbage. This is just garbage to put on into social media feeds, and it will, I don't know, help boost your shit. We talked about how Google search is ruined now, and like how internet search results, like, so internet search results were already destroyed even before these like AI results showed up, because like the SEO ruined it all. You know, like how like SEO is a whole like industry that you can do where you just like fill your website full of keywords and links to other things.
I don't know like what part the internet went wrong, that it was not the search tools' responsibility to figure out how to like find better content or like more appropriate content. It was on the like the website's responsibility to be found regardless of how good it is. And it was just like, I don't know where we went off the rails, but it was definitely the responsibility of the search engines to find better content, not for the websites to appear more prominently regardless of what you want.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that I'll stop sharing this because we don't need to look at the creepy dude. I was looking at Boot Dude like for an hour while you were talking.
I had it up as well for quite a while.
Nice. And I would much prefer looking at Boot Dude than this like fake.
Go ahead and pull him back up. He's real.
Yeah,
he's real.
Yeah, I'm grabbing Boot Dude again. But where we went wrong. LinkedIn freaks love to say that, or talk about like incentives, motivation, and innovation, right? They say that like the opportunity to profit is what drives innovation and improvement. And as far as where we went wrong, I might suggest that the opportunity to profit will actually always destroy whatever it is that they're trying to improve. That it's like not only that, like it only worked for a while because like people were like writing content on the internet and all this stuff where like there wasn't this like fake bubble economy where suddenly you can make a lot of money by being the first Google search result. And so there wasn't like a direct like money in, money out thing at that point. So that's why it worked for a while. And then people started realizing that, and then like, okay, that opportunity to profit led this to just, well, we'll just invest in some garbage to prioritize SEO. And then Google is like, hey, we can make a lot of money by, serving ads on our stuff. And so we're going to ruin search results that way. So it's just
and
like
we'll teach courses on SEO. Like,
yeah. And now it's just like a feeding frenzy. And meanwhile, you can't learn anything by searching for it. And none of this is even this is all without AI to begin with. Like you don't even need AI to enter into this conversation to get to this point. And so that's why I kind of think about that sometimes when it comes to like, the worries over whether or not generative AI is going to, destroy, jobs probably. Like it's probably like there's a lot of like bad things that are probably gonna like result from it or whatever. But as far as like replacing like actual art or actual information stuff, like we don't even need generative AI to ruin that. Like I'm almost comforted by that because like we did it before. It was already ruined, and like we can already ruin it ourselves. And the things that like generative AI is like trying to replicate is already bad. Like it's taking bad stuff and trying to like re-replicate that. And so I don't know, this isn't supposed to be like a big AI episode, but it does come up if you read enough LinkedIn brain stuff. It sure comes up a whole bunch. Yeah. But I don't know, it's kind of weird that makes me more like comfortable with things, just the fact that things are already going to be ruined without more technology, but it kind of does. And I guess like the other thing I'll say about LinkedIn brain is that like episodes like this that we do about this kind of person, like this is definitely the one that I feel like the most dire about so far that I've covered. It makes me think about how much wasted life is out there. Like LinkedIn freaks are the first to take photos of homeless people and talk about how they could either be like turned into Wi-Fi hotspots or be slaughtered. But doing perverted entrepreneur posting online is the truest waste of a life. Like you will not see God's light by behaving this way. Like think about like what it comes back to. Like I know we live in a bad world where you have to do fake social media marketing to pay the bills, but like at least have some shame and like have some like other stuff going on. Maybe do a weird podcast with your brother on the weekends or something, or just like have other things going on. But you can't be you're not a real person if you're like earnestly engaging in the fake economy that we have this way in this way.
Yeah.
LinkedIn posts are the worst non-fact check airport nonfiction, except with a way lower bar, because like even to appear in print, you at least still need to be printing something, which actually makes me think about ebooks which is another massive scam that's out there. Maybe we should do an episode about that.
Well, yeah. What is the deal with that? But yeah.
The opportunity to profit is what ruins things, man. People love saying that, like, that's how you grow better. That's how you get better. Is this, like, if you can make money off it, people are going to find a better way of doing it, and that's going to improve it. But I think it will always ruin whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be it for my brief. Basically, kind of a scattered one, but LinkedIn is bad. LinkedIn Brain is bad. Do not. I don't know. You should feel bad if you're doing this type of thing on LinkedIn.
To anyone, because you are doing it to someone. You know, you're not just doing it by yourself. You're doing it to us, and we don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes me want to be like one of those gatekeeping forum guys and be like, "You're wasting my time. Like, you actually are wasting my time with this. Like, I have to be on LinkedIn for some reason to like to survive here, but like you don't have to." Like, listen, we could if I end up in hell, like, so be it. Not this is gonna be a stretch, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to pull this one off. Stick the landing on it, but like, I'm gonna need every motherfucker in line who's with me in hell to like not be smiling and like having a good time, right? Like, I need you all need to be suffering with me. Right, like you also have to be
on hell being bad.
Right. Exactly. We're on LinkedIn. Can't we? Why do we all have to be like, oh, I'm so excited about my new opportunity? Shut the fuck up, dude.
It's not an opportunity. It's work that you don't want to do that none of us want to do.
Well, I can't wait for this podcast to get me fired. So go subscribe over on YouTube. That's
it's where we make our money. That's
our ticket out, and we're gonna escape the corporate grind, and you can too with these 5 easy steps. Subscribe to our newsletter. Actually, there's a waiting list for a newsletter for some reason to really drive up the scarcity for it. So
although to be fair, if you've been taking the tips that we've been putting out there, you should be pretty good by now. 5 episodes.
Yeah, you should be set. All right. Podcast over. All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.